Welcome to the Talking Sport Report podcast with Scotty and Eggo. Unbelievable!
Hello and welcome to the Talking Sport Report. This is where we discuss what's happening in the week of sport, and it has been monstrous across this weekend. Tonight, we are going to touch on the most influential rugby league players out of round 26. We've got a wooden spoon race that is really coming down to the wire. We're going to touch on football. We're going to touch on boxing. We're going to touch on Formula One. It's crazy. And I've got to welcome my co-host, my legend of a schoolmate that we do this podcast with each and every week. Scootus, how are you, legend?
What is going on? I feel like you've covered everything. I could probably take a step back tonight. Mention the league, the football, the cars. I think we're good.
Good. Pack
Been
it
a
up.
pleasure. Have a good night.
52 seconds.
Yeah.
How about you people are happy that the podcast is now finished?
That's twice as long than I normally go. Thanks.
We've also got Comment Club coming up. There's been some shade thrown our way, Scotty. We've got a couple of cracking stories because we are looking for your local legend stories. So if you've got a story about someone, whether it's, you basically scoring runs in cricket, kicking that amazing goal in soccer, doing the amazing run in rugby league, whatever it is, if you've got one of those stories, we want to hear about it. Also, if you shat the bed in a game and cost your side something, or you're just a really great partier, so whenever your sides win, you are the best on ground there. We want to hear your local legend stories. We're going to celebrate them here each and every week. Talking Sport Report at gmail.com, or drop us a cheeky DM at Talking Sport Report on our social channels. Scotty, let's kick off, go straight into the NRL because there is so much happening. And we've been asking this question the last few weeks, and I want you to start because you're the best in the business when it comes to this. Who makes the grand final? We've had so many teams jump and fall at hurdles over the last few weeks. Who makes the grand final now as of round 26? And then who wins the whole thing?
Yeah, last week I was heavily spent on Melbourne. They were it for me. 100% they were it. They were going to go through. They were going to win it. Honestly, I'd really, even with injuries and influential playmakers out, did not expect them to drop a game. And on Friday night, it was probably around halftime, probably second half had just kicked off. And my thoughts were, it's not a question of if, it's now a question of when are Melbourne going to score their next try? Because this is it. They played really well that first half, kept an inform, were in form, Roosters side scoreless. Yeah, they're gonna romp through. I'll be 3 from 3. Chasing the leader in the footy tips is fucking brilliant. I love it. And then they shit the bed. Didn't score another point. So for me, it's hard for me to continue backing them. Although I say that, and then you'll get Munster back and you'll get Hughes back, and all of a sudden Pappenhausen will grow an extra 3 inches of length between his thighs, and they'll just shit it in.
Yeah, I think you're also underestimating the fact that, yes, Harry Grant wasn't there.
Of course, he was he was in the stands.
Jerome
that's
Hughes
a good point.
Wasn't there. And also, let's also keep in this. They got nothing to play for. Like, get ready for the Melbourne
Finals.
Storm B grade side getting rolled out this week. Like
against the Broncos.
They're locked up there. I mean, the for and against, I think they're pretty good over the Bulldogs, right? So they can't lose second, can they?
No, not unless the Broncos put 50 on them and the Broncos put 50 on the Sharks. There's a lot of those scenarios coming up for this next weekend's fixtures. But you know what? I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna continue to back them. Melbourne for me will be there, October long weekend. It's only taken me 26 rounds, but I'm finally starting to see the appeal of the Raiders.
Jesus.
I mean, yeah, I know. 26 rounds. They've just wrapped up the minor premiership, and it's only now that I'm sitting there going, nah. Yeah, fuck, they're all right, aren't they? They're not bad.
I love it. I love Ricky post press conference. It's like, we're not even meant to be here. The Raiders, they were tipped to get the wooden bloody spoon this year, which is just outrageous. They're a week away from the finals and they've already locked up the minor premiership in a really tight race. That shows you how freaking good they are. Ricky Stewart is.
They've been consistent.
I would rather Ricky Stewart Prime Minister of Australia, to be quite fair. I mean, to be quite fair, who we've currently got, I would rather, Adam O'Brien,
Adam O'Brien.
to the Prime Minister of Australia, to be fair. But Ricky Stewart can do no wrong, and I think he nailed it. He said, like, we're not meant to be in the finals. We've got no pressure on us. I know we just won the minor premiership, but we've got no pressure on us because no one thinks we should be here. So we're going to have a great final series because no one thinks we're going to go any further. And let's be honest, if I know the Roosters played well. A few weeks ago, I said the Roosters were the dark horse. The worrying thing was it took them 60-odd minutes to crack that Melbourne defence when Melbourne had nothing to play for. They had all the ball, the Roosters. That worries me a little bit. I know they're going to get Sam Walker back, who's been easily the best try assister in the game. And, we're going to talk about the Daily Telegraph dropping the Rich List. Sam Walker is at the top of that list. And if you look at how much he's getting paid per game based on how many games he's played, it's a lot of money, but it's definitely worth it. But I just don't think at this point it's still the Raiders for me to win the comp, and I think they're going to play the Storm. I heard a really good comment in one of our videos from an avid podcast listener who said to us, "Don't write off the Panthers." And I know we never would, but the reason for him saying that was they need another challenge. They've won
That's
4 in a
true.
row, and no one's ever come from outside the 4 and won the comp. And to continue to get up and try and win this, now they've got a bit of fire in their stomach again because everyone's like, yeah, well, the Panthers can't win. They're not in the top 4. So it's almost given them a reason to go out and win 5 because they're now being told they can't.
Well, that was going to be my next question to you. When was the last time, and you know what, you probably never have looked at those kind of odds. When was the last time you saw a team sitting 7th with 1 round to go, third favourites to win the competition?
No, it's crazy.
Just looking at it now, the favourites to win the comp are the Storm at $2.65. Then you've got the Raiders at $4. And then all the way down in 7th, you got Penrith as third favourite at $7.25.
Just crazy.
After that, it's all double figures. Doggies fourth favourite at $11. Broncos at 14. Even the Roosters are more short than the Sharks and the Warriors.
Well, I think he can. I mean, I don't like it. I know the Wars. People love saying up the Wars, or people hate saying up the Wars, depending on which way you look at it. But the Warriors, are they gone or are they gone? They have been up against it. The Knights should have beaten them. Now that is enough right there to showcase that they can't win the comp.
I've actually, sorry to go back just a minute, but I'm looking at these odds to win the premiership. Now, obviously, if you cannot make the 8, Sportsbet have them. They've just got $501 next to them. So Titans, Knights, Dragons, Cowboys, Rabbitohs, Eels.
So they'll still take your bet.
Well, hang on. We've got the Dolphins. They've got the Dolphins who are sitting 9th at $501 to win the comp.
Yes.
They've got the Sea Eagles who are 10th, equal with the Dolphins, at $501. In 11th place is West Tigers, who are 6 points out of the top 8 with 1 game to go at $251.
You know why I'm not surprised about that? Because do you understand a lot of the times the way odds work is because people are betting on it. There are people out there who are not smart enough to work, and no offense to Tigers supporters, but they're probably struggling with the numbers, and they still think they're a shot, and they're still unloading on the Tigers to win the comp, not knowing they're now out.
That blows my mind that you can get shorter odds on a team that are already packing for Bali as opposed to a team that are about to play, hopefully for a place in the top 8 in the Dolphins.
Having said that, is there something in us like doing a bit of insider trading and trying to get a hold of the NRL and putting, how about you put like $100,000 on the Eels? I'm guessing they're $501.
Spot on.
$100,000 on the Eels because they're on fire. All you need to do is get them in the 8. Then call up the NRL and, like the Bulldogs had a number of years ago, claim or showcase how the Broncos, the Roosters, the Panthers, and the Storm are all over the salary cap. They will all get suspended, lose all their competition points, and the Eels go in, and then we're up for the win.
They are playing good football.
They are.
They are playing very good football, actually. And I'll be honest, if there was another few games to go, they'd be a worry for any of those teams from 7th down.
Oh, 100%.
And it pains me to say because, you know, Jimmy's a big Eels fan and I fucking hate him. But, you know, here we are.
They are playing very well, and they're definitely going to feature yet again in our most influential player. Before we get to that, though, I have to ask you one more question. Of all the sides that are not going to make the 8, let's just say 1 through 8 right now, being the Roosters in the 8th spot, are going to get to the finals, and they're going to be there after next week. Who do you want to be heading on a plane to Bali with? Because my money is I want to be going with the Rabbitohs.
Definitely.
To get Brandon Smith. He'd be able to hook us up. He'd be able to hook us up, brother.
We should but got to be careful how we word this. He'll come at us with the hot tips. He'd probably be the best person to step away and powder your nose with if you need to touch up your makeup.
It's just clear that from what I can gather, he's got some really good friends that know exactly how to get the stuff that you require.
Definitely
on
a gentleman.
So have the Rabbitohs got the best postseason trip plan? Because they're like, sweet, what a transfer from the Roosters. You've just doubled up our chance of having a good time.
Do you think he takes a boogie board with him?
Shit, I'll tell you what. If you are the Rabbitohs officials, are you thinking, shit, we're not doing a post trip to Bali? We might not end up having
Definitely not
come back.
And the way it sounds, he's not going to Queensland either.
No.
So,
well, maybe he is. Maybe that's where his hookup is, isn't it?
Fuck. Definitely a gentleman I'd like a round of golf with, that's for sure.
Seems like a very interesting case coming up with the whole Brandon Smith. But let's move into most influential player in round 26. Again, we've been doing this the last few weeks, and it's a lot of fun to talk about who, if you just freeze play here, Peter Sterling style kind of content where we just look at it from this is not about what happened the last 10 weeks. So when people were getting upset that we missed out on players that didn't play well in round 25, it's because this is all about round 26. If you were just coming here from a ship, overseas and you were just turning on the TV, who are you looking at to go, these are the best players in the game? Give them $1 million or give them 1.4 if you're Dylan Brown. The nominees are, and I'd love you to pick who you reckon's the spot. So we've got Cherry Evans and Turbo, kind of a dual act because that was an impressive performance. Reece Walsh, a man's on fire. I know they almost lost that game last night, but that man's on fire. You got Crichton because that guy turned into, I don't know, just some sort of freak. He was everywhere throughout that Bulldogs game. I know they were playing the Z-grade Panthers, Mitchell Moses, and Noah Wakanitawaze. I stuffed it, didn't I?
Done well there. The Wakanitawaze. You've done all right. You've just spent 45 minutes repeating that over and over. I thought you'd nailed it.
His name scares me. That's just a tough one to say. So where are you saying the most influential player in round 26 and why? Maybe give us a bronze, silver, and gold.
Well, do you know, I watched the Manly game on Saturday, but then kind of lost all interest when Corey Waddell scored first because, in all honesty, who's going to put money on that prick to waltz over? Let alone, he got a double. So once he scored first, I kind of zoned out and just worried about the scotch I was drinking. But then I read and heard about commentators raving about Turbo. Now, it's been a long time since anyone's mentioned Turbo as an influential player. It's more or less he's not the player he used to be. He's a busted arsehole. Holy shit, how much money's he on for how often he plays? I'm going to give him the bronze.
Yeah.
Only because he did. And it was probably the first time in a long time, excuse me, where it looked like he wasn't being reserved in a line break. He was actually putting his foot down for a change. So he's going to get my bronze.
Well, everyone was sort of saying it's vintage Turbo. This is vintage Turbo. He was just looking like he was, what we expected at the start of the year for the Blues. That was kind of what we were hoping to get out of Turbo this year. And he's been very, very rocks or diamonds, probably more so rocks this year. But, geez, the last 2 weeks, he has been on fire. And DCE, I mean, maybe you'll get to him in a second, but far out.
No, I'm not. He can get fucked.
As a classic family supporter,
Yeah.
you are not loving
He's
him.
not
I
even
reckon
getting. No, he's not getting a look in.
the
Not
Roosters,
gonna look in.
the Roosters would be feeling like one of those really intense people coming off maybe someone who's loves the drugs coming off a come down, because 2 weeks ago they thought it was the worst deal in the world taking Cherry Evans. Now they're getting the best player in the league.
He's not even going to get a mention in this list. So my silver, I'm going straight to silver. My silver, and there's a reason he's not taking gold, but I will get to that. Nawaqanita is 100% taking my silver. He was just everywhere. Well, he wasn't. He was on the right-hand side. But he was
In a corridor, he was everywhere.
He was an absolute freak. He was
everywhere as long as
fantastic
you
to
looked on the
watch.
right-hand side.
Yeah. He was nice to watch. Every time he got the ball, he looked dangerous. Like, I'll be honest, if he was in a van and offered me some lollies, I'd be in that van pretty quick. He looked that good. He looked
4
that
tries,
good.
though. Do you know he
4
started
tries.
the game in, I think, 5th for try scores of the year? He ended the game number 1 most try scores of the year. So it's what a way to turn it around.
But the only reason he's come in and taken silver is because my gold, and I never thought I'd say it, my gold is going to Reece Walsh. For the simple fact that when Reynolds went down, when Mam went down, not Ezra's mum, Ezra, when he went down, I 100% wrote the Broncos off. They were done. They were dead and buried. In my eyes, they were going to be lucky to make the 8. And he has just been phenomenal. He has stepped up. He's now showing why he had so many raps on him, so much hype, why he's getting paid what he's getting paid. He's taking my gold only because I think single-handedly he is carrying that team to the point where I feel more confident tipping them each week than I do tipping Penrith at the moment, and that's saying something. He's taking my gold, 100%.
That's true, and interesting you say that, because there was moments on Saturday night when they played North Queensland, and that's a derby, so you're always going to get an interesting game. But North Queensland probably be dirty they didn't win that game.
Definitely.
Like, Reece Walsh did some incredible thing, and then through that terrible cutout pass, there was an intercept. Like, so, like, but they've now grabbed the 4th spot. And I know we spoke about this a number of weeks ago around, who do we think's getting 4th? And, I was sitting on the Panthers. Where did you end up landing on that one? Who do you think was going to get the 4th spot? Because I think you might have even said the Broncos, but I think that was before hamstring gate, where they lost 7,000 players to a hamstring, which I've also heard that I think, hasn't Reynolds re-hurt his hamstring through the week? That's another rumor that's been floating around.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't know he had another hamstring to hurt, but he does.
I might have even backed you and gone with Penrith. But honestly, when they both went down in that one game, I thought, that's it, they're cooked. They'll be lucky to make the 8. They'll make it, but they'll scrape in. They'll struggle. They'll go out in straight sets. It'll be done and dusted. They've just looked comfortable. Yes, they were lucky, but at the end of the day, you need a bit of luck.
You do.
You need a bit of luck to go your way. I thought they looked fantastic, and I honestly think Reece Walsh, eyebrows and all, looks the goods.
And I'll give I think you're going to get a lot of hate, Scotty, because Cherry Evans looked great. And I think Roosters fans were just going, imagine him in the tricolours. God, he's going to look good, doing that kind of stuff. He had the ball on the string, but not gold, silver, or bronze. But there you go. Most influential player, round 26, is the amazing Reece Walsh. Bang, bang, bang. Speaking of Reece Walsh, there was a classic moment at the end of that game. So it was a bit of a coach killer game where the Broncos were clearly not playing their best going into halftime, and the footage of Madge just tearing them a new asshole. It was insane. It was the classic point, screaming. There was a lot of expletives. And at the end of the game, they interviewed Hunt, and they sort of said, hey, we saw that, you copped a bit of a spray at halftime. Can you give us, the PG version of what Madge said? And Hunt's response was there was no PG version of that.
There is none
which
at all.
just shows you they got ripped apart. So we want to have a conversation about who would you rather cop an all-time spray from? Because I reckon there'd be some fantastic coach sprays over the year.
Not
But
my
the
mum.
three that- No.
Nope.
But
Nope,
the
cop
three
enough
that
of
come
them.
to mind, Bellamy. God, he'd give a good spray, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Madge,
Yep.
Ricky Stewart.
All right,
Remember that footage that was floating around a few years back? It was fake, but it was that they were saying it's Ricky, and he was basically calling them all a pack of dogs, and that was shit.
Do you know what? I'm surprised you haven't thrown Nathan Brown in there getting physical. The old slap.
That's true. I mean,
But we're talking about sprays. We're not talking about physical violence.
yeah, I don't want to go to HR after it. I want to feel like I've been slapped, but it's just purely words,
But
and it's going to be a bit
verbal.
of he said, she said.
So if I was to order them from who out of those three, who I'd prefer,
Yep.
honestly, probably Ricky, because I feel like Ricky would be the kind of guy that afterwards, you've dressed, you've showered, you're dressed, you've got your bag, you'd be walking past on your way out, and Ricky would go, I'll buy you a beer. And then that'll be it. That'll be it.
Yeah.
Madge would probably be second for the simple fact that he's not renowned for giving a spray. So when he does, you know something's gone wrong. So I don't think it'd be pretty. And gold first, I'd hate to take a spray from Bellamy because to me it looks like that's just his personality. It's like it's more shocked when he's not blowing up.
Yeah.
So if that's him every day, imagine what an actual spray would be like. I reckon you'd lose your soul. He would suck the soul right out of you. That'd be it.
It'd be
That'd
pretty
be
funny.
He would be the man of your house from that moment on.
If you were taking it from a fan's point of view, it's funny you say that, because if you were to rank them on who would you want to see gold, silver, or bronze, who do you want to be in and witness someone give a spray to, you would 100% give the gold to Bellamy. You're right. Imagine being a fly on the wall as Bellamy just tore, like, think about the sides he's had over the years, like Munster, Cronk, Billy Slater, and he'd be talking to them like they were little cunts.
Piece of shit.
Just tearing them apart.
Any of them ever, the three that we've named, have they ever been known to fucking rip a door off its hinges in a dressing room? Hats off to Desi Hasler, because I reckon that, and could you imagine parading yourself into the showers wearing your undies? I know I'm going back, and him just ripping the door off the fucking hinges and dragging you out by the waistband of your undies.
That's probably true. We probably should have had, I mean, Desi's probably, because he's so calm, you sort of always see him as so calm, but yeah, if you're ripping a door off your hinges, he's a little brick shithouse. He's not like he's stumpy, but he's a very tough footballer back in the day. So he's obviously got the strength there. I think he was pissed off that day that apparently when he did give them the spray out of the showers, they were all in there giggling and laughing after they just got flogged, and he had the shits about that. So yeah, maybe Desi's a cheeky silver medalist.
He's getting an honourable mention at least, but honestly, I would hate to take a spray from Bellamy. Fuck that for a joke. I'd quit. I'd quit. I'd call it. And I would. You know what? I'd go to HR. I don't give a shit.
It's because you're weak as piss.
Yep. Yeah, I'd let the tears dry up and I'd stop crying and I'd go to HR.
So I remember back in the day when we were in high school, you cop a spray from your dad. Because you're a bigger guy than your dad, you'd give him a flogging.
Yeah, you fucking deserved it too.
You couldn't even cop a spray from your old man. You had to get physical.
Oh, fuck.
If I had to say who I'd want to get a spray from, it'd be Wayne Bennett, because you'd probably get 3 words out of it. It'd be like, oh, what the fuck am I doing here? And he'd just walk out the door and leave. You'd be like, that's better. He'd just do the whole, I'm disappointed. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed with you.
Just disappointed. That's the worst spray to get.
Yeah. So maybe Wayne is up there with maybe Wayne's platinum. Maybe Wayne's platinum.
Fucking hell.
Now the wooden spoon race, Scotty, this is getting quite interesting, and I think there's only one outcome now. We know that the Knights, now it's funny, last week the conversations were around basically the Panthers rested everybody.
Yeah.
And I even heard, so Ivan Cleary even rested as a coach. I heard the bus driver also rested. He didn't need to drive them to the thing. He needed the week off. This week, Canberra is going to do it, and Melbourne will do it. I think even if the Knights were trumped out a fourth grade Parramatta Eels side, they would still wallop the Knights. So the question is going to be, how much will the Knights lose by, more so than can the Knights win this match? So it's going to be completely on the Titans. If the Titans can beat the Tigers, they get out of the wooden spoon.
It's hard because, I mean, until Tuesday, we don't know who's sending who out to play. And the last round's always an absolute prick, especially for tipping. And, like Tigers and Eels both have nothing to play for. Knights and Titans have it all to play for. This is now just a question of, it's more or less going to come down who fields what kind of side. It's got nothing to do with the Knights or the Titans now. It all comes down to who the Tigers and the Eels name. That's it for me. And that will decide, I think, who wins the spoon. You got to remember, it's Old Boys Day at Newcastle, which is always a good crowd. Is it Old Boys Day, or was that actually 2 weeks ago?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Old Boys Day's done. I think they're playing.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I apologise.
Yeah, they're playing in Sydney. So,
well then, yeah, fuck the Knights. They're going to get beat.
Yeah, they got no hope of winning this game down here. And that's the key. Like, I know Combank Stadium, Sunday 4:05 p.m. for those who don't want to turn it on and watch it. And
beautiful.
There's somewhere else to watch.
Beautiful stadium. Beautiful stadium. I still think the Eels will send some players out there that can do the job. Honestly think now it comes down to what Benji's going to do with his side. So it's tough. And, I know you don't want the Knights to win the spoon, and I respect that. But B, think of the payday for your uncle. That's all I'm thinking of now.
You know what? I'm a Newcastle Knights supporter, but I have been so upset with the way they've played and what's to come. We may as well just start it now. Let's just get the first wooden spoon out the road and be done with, for the next 2 or 3 we're going to win in the coming years as well. But, I mean, the interesting part about this wooden spoon gate is the Titans do play the Tigers at 5:30 on Saturday. So coming into this Sunday game, Knights v Parramatta, if the Titans have gotten up, the Knights are going to be sitting there going, if we don't win today, or we've got to lose, but somehow lose by less than, you know what I mean? It's impossible.
Yeah.
Lose by -60, so technically we win. No, so the Knights will then know if they've got to win or not, but I don't think it matters. I think the Titans are a good chance of beating the I mean, look at today. The Titans probably should have beaten the Dolphins.
But how many times have they done that this season? Should have beaten Penrith.
Yeah.
Should have beaten the Dolphins.
They're working their way up to the final round. They wanted to make our podcast better because guess what? If they win today, you know what we're sitting here talking about? Nothing, because the Knights can't win next week. So it would be all over. It's literally down to this game. So this is going to be it. The Spoon Gate is all coming down to Saturday night, 5:30 p.m. Titans beat the Tigers. You would basically just guarantee from that point on, mail the spoon to the Newcastle region as of 6 o'clock Saturday night.
What do you do with it then? Do you parade it? Because that'll be number 5 for the Knights. It's like a mini milestone in a sense.
I don't want to say we're chasing the Panthers in reverse, but we're giving it a red hot shot,
you
aren't we?
fucking hope you are.
Yeah. We've got some competition out there. I mean, the Tigers won 3 in a row as well.
True.
But they've got a little bit brighter future than us, don't they?
How many wooden spoons has Titans won?
Not as many as you think, because I think that the whole thing with the Titans is they've always been pretty bad, but they've always been kind of there or thereabouts towards the bottom. So they've only won 2. Yeah, there you go.
2011?
Yeah.
2019.
So it sets up for a really good game next week. So Saturday night, we'll find out who is the wooden spooners. So I guess the last couple of things we want to chat about before we move on to the EPL and what's happening over there is who does make this final 8 spot? We're thinking it's definitely the Roosters.
Roosters, yeah, for sure. Although the Rabbitohs always turn up against the Roosters.
They do, don't they?
Always. And the Dolphins are coming out. They're probably going to be playing against a mixture of the Raiders, Jersey Flag, and NRLW side.
Yeah.
Just to field a starting side.
So
I
it has
would
turned around quite a
not.
bit.
I would not put it past the Dolphins sneaking into that 8, only for the fact the Rabbitohs always turn up against the Roosters.
There's a good chance the
Superior
Dolphins
for and
put a bit of a
against.
score on the Raiders.
Well, not so much a superior for and against, but 102-point differential for the Roosters, 87 for the Dolphins.
Yeah, not much in it.
Not
so
much.
A win and a loss will almost guarantee the Dolphins through, right?
Could level it up. I'm gonna go the dark horse. I'm gonna go the Dolphins. Fuck it.
Wow.
Just to upset the apple cart.
Well, I feel for them because every year they seem to be sitting in this 8th or 9th. The Knights knocked them out last year. So they've never made the 8. They've always been like essentially 9th or 10th basically since they came into the comp. They've always
The
just
Dolphins.
been. Yeah.
Was that last year?
Yeah, the Knights.
Did they come in the year before? Yeah. Well, you're talking about it like they've got a rich history.
Well, I'm talking about they do in Redcliffe.
That's a good point. I'm actually just having a look.
History.
Oh, will Alex Johnson break the record? No, I don't care about that. I want futures. What are the Dolphins paying?
To make the
$5.
8?
$5.
Mm.
Not bad. Manly's paying 101. So that means if I put $10 on them, Sportsbet will keep my $10.
Well,
that's what that means. And the Knights, Knights paying $2.30 for the spoon.
Jeez, as I said, my uncle got $11 to saddle up there. You don't need this 30 stuff.
Jesus
Speaking of the Knights,
Christ.
it's a bit of a sliding doors moment for the Knights right now because you've got Adam O'Brien quit.
Didn't quit. I fucking asked.
Yeah, he did, but he's going down, saying it was his call. And let's be
Was
honest.
it? You know it wasn't. If he could have stolen another year's worth of salary, he would have.
I think he got a really good deal on the way out. I reckon they've given him a pretty good golden parachute to ride off into the sunset, and he will get a lot of his money that he would have been paid, because he's a well paid coach. But it's a random sliding doors moment now because the word is Sandon Smith from the Roosters was looking like it could be a Newcastle Knights deal.
He would have been a ripper signing.
Would have been a great signing. But it looks now like the Cowboys are going to nab him, drag him to North Queensland on a multi-year deal to pair him up with Dearden, which will be a great halves combination moving forward. So you've got like this sliding doors moment where you've got, potentially Sandon Smith there for the Knights. You've got O'Brien going out. You've got this incredible talent in Fletcher Sharp that's like a Ponga, but discount Ponga. We're not paying $1.2 million for this guy, and he's a great local, and he's a legend. And then you've got Dylan Brown coming to the club next year on $1.3 million. So do you kind of wish that is it kind of weird to think that you're, as a Newcastle Knights fan, I'm sitting here going, I really hope Ponga does decide to go test his arm at rugby union and just goes, hey, let's just let us out. You guys are going to have a shit next few years. Let's bring Dylan Brown here. Let's Fletcher Sharp go back to fullback on a cheaper deal, and let's let Adam O'Brien go off to have pina coladas in Bali with his payout cash, but be rid of the Adam O'Brien. And Ponga's done a great job, but I think now it's like you go do your own thing. The Knights are not the right club for you now in this position, and plan for the future.
I don't think it's a bad thought to have. Because I'll be honest, 6 weeks ago I was thinking that the rumours of Turbo to the Super League was a brilliant idea as well. So it's honestly, when you're on that kind of money, Ponga, in a sense, similar to Turbo, you don't see them play every game. To be honest, it's almost a case of they miss more than they play. Not a bad thought to have. You think of that kind of money, you can spread that out across 2 quality young players, build for the future with a new coach, new foundation, new outlook. Maybe see if Dylan Brown wants to backflip. Pray he does. Who knows? Save that money as well. God, but in all honesty,
would you backflip from 10 years, $1.3 million? Would you backflip from that?
No, fuck no.
I would go walk on the fucking sun for that.
Newcastle's a beautiful town. He's probably got himself a nice little place there at Merriweather overlooking the water.
We bought a suburb, mate.
Yeah, well, yeah,
We
that
bought a
too.
whole suburb.
I hope it was Windale.
Yeah,
Anyway,
fair
it's
enough.
not a bad thought process to have. I
Yeah.
mean, I as a Manly fan, I'm looking at it now going, well, how much less are Manly going to offer Turbo and Jake? It'll be a good thing. They're saving a shit ton already on Cherry Evans going and bringing Fogarty in. Not a bad thought process to have. It's always a good way when you're looking at going, well, be brilliant to have him next season if he's fully fit, plays the best football that we know he can. But at the same time, if he goes, he goes. Like, players come and go, world goes on, he will be replaced. That money will go somewhere else. We'll be okay in the long run. The only positive is, you said it last week, your pricks can't get relegated. So there's no fear of that.
And they
Wests aren't
should
going to
be.
go broke
They
anytime
should be.
soon.
West aren't going to go broke. You're right. You're
So
right.
I think you're sweet. If he
Well,
goes, take that money, invest it somewhere else. But holy shit, Sandon Smith would have been a good pickup.
as would have Fogarty. How lucky is Manly? You guys getting kissed on the dick. You could have the halfback who won the comp coming to your team next year if the Raiders go all the way.
I'm still waiting to wake up and see breaking news Fogarty backflips.
Yeah.
Because I know that he was told. I know that he was told he can test the waters and, go to market. But fuck, don't you feel for the bastard? He's going from a side that's just won the minor premiership. It doesn't seem like many people are saying a bad thing about Ricky Stewart, and he's going to a club that have lost some absolute pathetic games this year and are coached by an absolute leper of a human, who I think has the support of the owners, which is fucking fantastic. Yeah, happy Sunday night.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a nice little segue to talk about Ponga to move into this. So the Daily Telegraph did publish this today. I haven't bought a newspaper in a long time. I was very shocked to realize you couldn't do it with gold coins anymore. The last time I bought
how much was it?
Have a guess. How much do you think the Sunday Telegraph is now worth? Now, I remember back in, I reckon 7 years ago, and I know that's a long time in this day and age, and I feel like I'm old man Simpson here saying back in my day, but I remember we used to buy it for like $2.20 or something, wasn't it? $2.50
Yeah.
at one point. I remember it was $1, like when we were growing up.
Well, few factors. So 7 years ago, factor in inflation.
That's it.
$38.95.
No,
honestly,
actually made with the cum of Rupert Murdoch. so
it's all dust. It's just dust.
It's all dust. It's very very rare.
Dust.
$4.50, mate.
$4.50.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? Next year it'll be the crisp 500. I'm surprised it's not. How do we get to that? We are fucking old. Can you believe the cost of a newspaper?
Well,
Jesus Christ!
It's a great segue again. We're talking about the NRL Rich List, so these guys aren't going to worry too much about buying a newspaper for $4.50. But it's a cracking read because it does go through all these contracts that are basically kind of there, and the conversation kind of started off the back of Cam Munster could be going to the Perth Bears next year.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the first in 2 years, could be the first ever player to make $2 million a season. Can you imagine that? Like we're saying right now, Dylan Brown, like, oh shit, 1.4, 1.3, $2 million a season for Munster. I mean, you'd probably pay it, right? He's that good.
Oh, you definitely would. If you had the salary cap for it and there was an increase and there was incentives and shit like that, definitely. And the one positive, I don't know, are there pokies in Perth these days?
Yeah,
no, seriously.
I think they would, right? Oh, if they don't, I'll be fuming. You would not be wanting to go over there, right? Because Cam Munster, he needs the pokies, doesn't he?
Because if not, 100%, he's on a winner. He can't blow his money.
Yeah. Well, I know
they're prohibited. They're prohibited in Western Australia.
They've got a casino though, don't they? You can still, and you know what?
It's the only place she'll. Oh, it's in Perth, so he's fucked. There's 1.5 of his contract on a year.
Yeah, and they've got a great casino. That Crown over there is just stunning, and it's right across the road from the damn stadium.
There you go.
He's stuffed. All 2 million. Getting banned at the
But
end of the
no,
way.
I think it's justified, honestly. And the way Melbourne have handled it, brilliant.
Yeah,
Like,
they
good
have.
on them.
Well,
I
here
think
you
it's
go.
justified.
Here's your top 5. So last year, if you were playing at home, Kalyn Ponga was number 1. He was ranked number 1, 1.2 million a season for Ponga. This year, he's ranked 6. So he's dropped down a bit, like not the end of the world. But the top 5 is Nathan Cleary, 1.3 million. I think that's a pretty good contract. I mean, he's
Definitely
arguably the best player in the game, pretty close to it. Mitch Moses, 1.3 a season. Again, pretty good. Here's where it gets a bit tricky. Tom Trbojevic, 3rd at 1.25 a season. But I guess at least it's only for one more season.
That's true. And he was signed on that before he fucking blew out his hamstring and shit. His pork rope.
That's it. The Titans have got Tino on 1.2 million.
Wow.
Contract for someone who's not doing much at club level.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Great rep footballer. But I guess you surround yourself with shit, you're going to play like shit.
That's true. And then you got like the guys like the Perth Bears. The Titans have lodged an official complaint with the NRL this week because the Perth Bears are trying to steal like 6 of their players. If you're the Titans, aren't you saying take them? We're doing shit. We don't want these guys here. We've made a mistake. We paid Tino 1.2 million a season. We would rather just get the wooden spoon without paying $1.2 million.
100%. You'd turn around and you'd be like, I tell you what, you take those 6, we'll throw Des in for free.
That's it. You can just throw more in. That's fine. Do you need a fullback? You got the West Tigers too, Jerome Luai. I think, again, this one's a good one. 1.2. I mean, he has changed that club. That they were 3 wooden spoons in a row. There's no doubt that Luai going there has made that club. Like the last few weeks, that run into the top 8. It's all Luai.
And Dewey. Definitely not Galvin.
Definitely not Galvin. And then you've got, 6 is Ponga, 7 is Cam Munster, 1.15. Again,
that blows my mind.
Yeah, potentially a $2 million man. He was ranked 5 last year. So it shows you how quickly these players blow out.
Like Turbo's hamstrings.
Yeah, exactly. This is why Reynolds' hamstrings should be here for $1.2 million a pop. You go through it, and there are some good ones, there are some bad ones. Currently, Dylan Brown sitting at number 17 on 950.
He is
How that
frothing.
will change next year. How that will change. He will shoot with a bullet to number 1 on 1.4.
Wow.
That's crazy.
What was Fogarty? Is he on like 650, I think?
He's not on much, but the big question would be what he's going to get paid next year, because obviously
I read 950, I believe, which is still cheap for a fucking minor premier halfback. God, if they win it, 950 for a premiership winning halfback's ridiculously cheap.
Oh, exactly. Well, he's not
insane
really in here, so I don't see him in the top list, because like Joseph Tarpany's in here at 950.
Fucking hell, you and I might be on more doing this podcast than Fogarty is.
Well, exactly, but not next year. I mean, look at the discounts. There are some cracking discounts in this list as well, like Harry Grant at 33 on 850.
That's ridiculous. That's a bargain as well.
Absolute bargain.
Yeah, what's Jerome Hughes on? I saw him in that list.
Yeah, he's 34 and 850 as well. So the Storm have done a really good job of having, like, they got like Nelson, their big prop. He's on more money.
Go on, say it.
A sofa Salamona. Salamona.
Nawakanita
was, eh? Oh, it's tough. But here's where it gets fun. This is what I want to throw at you.
Yep.
You'd think that of this top 100 risk list,
mm-hmm.
you would expect the players that would be, because obviously each club would have a number of players in this rich list. You'd expect the ones with the higher ranking on our actual NRL table to be higher than the number.
Definitely.
Let's have a crack at, can you guess the top 5 most players on the rich list are on their roster? Now, it's actually, you're going to guess the top 5. It's actually a 6, because basically 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th have all got the same amount. But it's so fun that I reckon if you can get 5 out of 5, you don't even want to know what I'll give you.
All right, I'm just pulling back up the ladder. So in no particular order, I'm going Storm, Penrith, Roosters, Rabbitohs, Broncos.
All right, you've got 3 out of 6.
Oh,
So coming in at
I forget what
tied,
I said.
you did say the Broncos. So the Broncos is definitely there. You said the Rabbitohs, that's definitely
Yep.
there, and the Panthers are definitely there. Now you'd think the Panthers, I mean,
They would be for sure. 4 in a row.
right.
Haven't
4 in a
lost
row.
heaps.
They've got second. They're second most. They've got 8. So they've got 8 players on this list, the Rich 100. The number 1 club will blow your mind, but let's start at the bottom. So equal third, the Dolphins
Wow.
have got 7. Can you believe that?
Wow. I couldn't even name 6 of their 7 of their fucking players. I know
Yeah,
Osako and the Hammer.
Here's the next one will blow your mind. So alongside the Broncos that are also on 7, try the Dragons.
Really?
They've got 7 of the Rich 100 list. And then the final club to make up the 7 and tied for third, the Cowboys.
Really? Holy. I was 100% if you said Manly, I was out of here. I was done for the night.
Crazy, isn't it?
Holy
and then
shit.
you got Panthers at number 2 on 8, and the number 1 club in the NRL, who a number of weeks ago were fighting off the wooden spoon, the Rabbitohs, with 10. The
That's
Rabbitohs have 10.
insane.
Now, half of them are in the injury ward, but that is an incredible number.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Isn't it nuts, isn't it? When you look at the Raiders, how many do you reckon the Raiders have got in the Rich 100?
Oh, I'm going to go with 2.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with 2.
They got 4.
Okay.
Well, that's
Tarpany.
tiny when you think about how good they are.
Does it say who they are?
No, it doesn't. It just says
okay.
it says 4. But I mean, it's not a hard look. I mean, like Tarpany was one of them that was there. And the thing is, all their players are all down the back of the list.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. KO Weeks is young. Ethan Strange is young. You know, give it a couple of years and they'll be up there. Yeah. Continue playing the way they are. Definitely.
Crazy, isn't it? So there you go. So that's
insane.
That is a tough. I mean, and I know they've been hit with injury, but that's going to be a tough year next year for Wayne Bennett to have that many plays. Like, there's not much room to move when you got that many plays sitting there on that list, and you're at the bottom of the pops.
Exactly right. That's insane.
All right, so let's move on to. We've done a lot of NRL tonight, but I think the best way to explain this next segment is, I'm a massive supporter and I love the football over in the EPL. But for me, getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning, not a chance in hell. And so I'm one of those classic, I'll jump on the old phone and do the old app scroll through and pretend like I know what's going on. So if someone says to me, hey, Arsenal, your side won last night, I can go, yeah, great. Whatever. So each week, Scotty's going to bring up, because you're doing the homework. You're staying up most nights to watch these games and get amongst it. And you're a massive fan of the EPL and football in general. So each week, Scotty's going to bring 3 or 4 points from the EPL. So next time you're talking to someone who's a mad EPL or football fan, Scotty's going to give you all the details so you can just be able to have that conversation without feeling like you have to stay up and watch.
That's right. You're at the water cooler in the office. You're having a beer on the RV after work and someone brings it up. You can just chime in and be like, oh, shit, yeah, but what about this? And then if I'm wrong, you look like a complete and utter wanker. But, yes, so my alarm is set for 10 to 4 tomorrow morning. I'll be getting up for Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. But at 1:30, big game, Liverpool versus Arsenal. Massive. So I am not going to watch that, but I'll do a you and I will check the score. But interesting. So Manchester United won overnight. Unfortunately, they beat Burnley. But hats off to them. They became the first team in history in the world to open their season with 2 own goals. So their first 2 goals scored this season were own goals. First team ever to do it. So that's quite an achievement. Probably one of their biggest achievements in some time. So hats off to them. Good on them.
Yep.
Wolves looking like shit. I did call it at the start of the year that they'll go down.
Mm-hmm.
They are struggling. So stick with that. I hope people got on that. Them and, West Ham's only played 2 games, but they're both struggling at the moment. What's the other one, actually? Spurs. We'll touch on Spurs soon. I'm not happy about Spurs. And honestly, for years, I frothed on this bloke. He was the greatest thing in a long time for my club, Jack Grealish. Went to City, wasted. He's on loan at Everton, and holy shit, does he look like a brand new footballer.
Yeah, wow.
2 assists overnight. I think maybe 2 assists last week, and Everton picking up the points away to Wolves. If you're having a beer and one of the boys brings up EPL, just tell him, didn't Pep fucking ruin Grealish as a footballer? Because brand new, man. And I'll be honest, disappointed that Villa didn't make a play for him on loan, because he does. He looks rejuvenated. He'll be in the England squad. Yeah, so we'll see next Sunday night if we talk about EPL. Things have gone well for me overnight.
Yeah.
If I tell you to stick it up your ass and we don't want to talk about it, then obviously Villa's dropped more points.
I will understand. I will absolutely understand. Thank you. I feel smarter. I feel smarter now knowing that if someone was to hit me up at the water cooler, I'll be able to rattle off some stats. I'll be like, yeah,
Wolves look like shit. Grealish is great.
That's it. Own goals.
United score own goals.
How about those own goals this year? Jesus, can you believe it? Can you believe it's own goals?
That's good. That's like being like, oh, you coming over to watch the ads? Same thing. That's fantastic.
Hey, Super Bowl's on. Let's watch the ads. Yeah, exactly. Now, before we get to Comment Club, which we love each and every week because it's where we get to talk about people who are writing into the show, 2 other stories we want to touch on. Nikita Zoo, boxing legend, is looking like for the first time ever in his career, he's about to outrank his brother Tim. So that looks like an interesting one because there is word of Michael Sarefa and Tim Zoo, that fight happening. Now, that's a fight that you would be going, even if you don't watch fights, you would definitely go and watch that fight because that one will be fireworks. They hate each other, and that would be a really good one. But it got us thinking, like, really good siblings that are in sport because the Zoo family has been amazing, but Tim and Nikita Zoo is always great having that in boxing. It's always great to have a Zoo in a boxing regardless, but brothers is really cool. So we started thinking about, who are the best twins or the best siblings?
Siblings, yes.
And my mind automatically went to, Steve and Mark Waugh, Andrew Johns, Matthew Johns.
I stuffed up. I went local. So I thought the Cornwall boys or Dan and Ben Kelly. Yeah, I don't know if you know Benny Kelly. What a footballer.
Yeah. You got the brief wrong.
100%. Had a bit of a think. The Manning brothers.
Yeah.
NFL, fantastic. One that you mentioned actually completely slipped my mind. The Williams sisters.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. But then I was just thinking, if Nikita overtakes Tim, imagine Christmas Day. Wouldn't you just give it to him? You're the younger sibling. You're finally overtaken. You'd be like, oi, you going to get me a beer? Because, you're shitter than me.
And the other good thing about that family is you could actually get up and give him a flogging because you're actually, and you're not going to get pulled into line because I think his dad, their dad lives overseas. He's never coming back. He lives in Russia, so he's never coming back here again. So if he wants to flog him, he can flog him, and he can say,
that's brilliant.
Poor old Tim. What about Steph and Seth Curry?
Seth.
Like great NBA players, absolutely great players.
Big variety in names there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. LaMelo and Lonzo.
Yeah. The balls. Yeah.
The balls? Shoves the balls.
Shoves the balls.
God, we can sit here forever.
A lot in basketball because, like, you got Powell and Marc Gasol. They're also legendary basketball players. So it feels like basketball seems to have a lot more of them for some reason. But it's quite interesting when you look through. I think the other one you had was Jason and Travis Kelce, man of the moment, getting engaged to Taylor Swift.
And I tell you, good podcast. Probably my second favorite after this one.
They have, I think, just a couple more listeners.
One or
just
two.
A couple.
One or two. Yeah, nothing to write home about.
Before we get to Comment Club, Piastri.
Yes, got pole. He has pole. He has pipped teammate Landon Norris by, get this, 0.01 of a second.
What does that even look like? Is that where you?
It's like a Mickey.
Yeah.
It's
Back in the
like
day, if someone was actually using the stopwatch, you'd be like, "You bastard, you fucked up on
Yeah.
the push." Like
Yeah.
that's like an error.
So now this is just a question of, does he win overnight? Where are they? They're at Dutch Grand Prix. If he wins overnight, hopefully extends that lead.
Well, no, predict it right now, because if you're listening to this podcast, you
Oh,
know the result.
definitely.
So let's see if Scotty's crystal ball works. What happened in this race? Tell us now. Did he win or did he not win?
He won.
Fantastic.
He won. Yeah.
That is
And he's extended his lead.
extended. Great.
And the cars went very fast.
Tell you what, that's all I need to know, to be fair. And
Riveting information. Take
all-
that to the water cooler.
Absolutely. All right, let's bring on Comment Club. We get some fantastic comments coming through. Last week we had my uncle in for the local legend story. Now, if you've got a local legend story, we're chasing those fantastic stories about folklore. But we talked about a cricket partnership where he was a good cricketer back in the day, comes out to the middle. They're needing over 100 runs. He scores some runs, and then the final wicket, they're 9 down. They're about to get bowled out. The other side, as you pointed out, Scotty, are getting ready to make their reservations for the evening's beers. And the partnership was, I said it was around about 90 or something, 90 something. And basically they got run. The other guy got run out on 0.
That's
and
brilliant.
my uncle scored 100. So he scored all the runs in the partnership. I got the partnership wrong. My uncle jumped on the chat. So the partnership was 89.
Okay.
So the partnership was 89. They were chasing 106. So that got a lot closer. They're not far off. 17 runs short. And you would think then that makes it even worse. We said it was Tuk Tuk. So Tuk Tuk was the number 11 batsman that got run out for a duck. What made my uncle make that comment was Tuk Tuk actually responded on the video itself. And he said, "You're full of it, Matthew, and your uncle Googly handles the truth recklessly." So, I don't know if that's it does sound like a really sweet, like maybe my uncle and Tuk Tuk are lovers. Gookie sounds like
it's a pet
for each
name,
other.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a bit of a
maybe,
pet name.
Maybe my coffee Gookie. Jesus Christ.
So we made this out of them on this podcast, and I apologize if we have, but yeah,
no, hats off to them. I hope they're happy.
It's interesting. Tuk Tuk's handle is at 54 sales. So I don't know what's going on there. It's an interesting handle.
Should have been at Tuk Tuk.
Yeah. But I think we can go to the bank by saying my uncle scored 100. Tuk Tuk scored a duck and got run out by not backing up. And that was a classic story. And that at least we've settled that. We put that one to bed.
That's brilliant. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, this one comes your way, Scotty. This is from our mate, Jimmy86. Now, he comments on a video. We were talking last week about something, and I'll read the comment first and we can discuss it. He said, "Fuck, I've been a little aroused since Scotty gave Moses this credit, eh? I'll also add that me and Eggo said at the exact same time, geez, after Scotty said he would take Wishart's man jizz." So basically last week, if you man jam, he said man jam, which is so much nicer. Basically you were raving on about how you think that Wishart is just a cheat code in the NRL and that you would do something for him.
He's quality.
And both Jimmy and I at the same time, while he's listening back, we both went, "Oh God, do you need to do that?"
It's actually, I don't remember that. So no comment. No comment. So I received a message midweek. Now I'm just dropping this in here just to let listeners know that whilst we may not cover what you send in, there's a big chance we will get to it. So I got one from a good friend of ours through high school, Shane Nevin. He sent me an idea, just giving you the heads up. We will float this idea and just let Nev know that in a few weeks' time, I think you and I are going to run with it. So,
tell them the idea. What's the idea? We'll hold ourselves accountable to it.
You reckon?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, his idea was pick a starting 17 in a rugby league team of celebrities and other professional athletes.
Yeah.
For your dream team.
It's a good one. It's a
That
good,
is.
that's a good one.
But this is going to be something that we're going to need to do a bit of research. We're going to have to draft our team because I'd like us to build our own teams and then we put it to the people who would win in a state of origin style matchup.
Yeah, like
Yep.
a vote. Yep.
Yep.
That's good.
So,
That's really good.
and
Build a team.
then, but the only concern is we're not going to be chopping and changing after each game. You are stuck with that 17 for 3 fixtures.
That's true. Well, I'll make sure.
So
I
in
know
other
he's not a
words-
celebrity, but I won't put Reynolds in my team when he snaps both his hamstrings and is out.
his pork ropes are gone. So the
No,
only
that's
problem with
good.
this is it is good, but now there's going to be a lot of thought behind this. It's going to be time consuming.
It is, but it's make believe. That's what I love about it. Like we're going to be debating on if a certain
that's a good
celebrity
point.
can handle a position in the rugby league world. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Most likely we'll do it after the finals. Lots of rugby
Definitely.
league coming up. But yeah, I love that idea, Nev. There's a couple of cracking ideas, and like Scotty said, we will definitely get to them. Another shout out. This was an interesting one. I had a comment yesterday on our TikTok. A guy was very shocked that we replied to his comment. And he said, "Oh, do you mind giving me a shout out?" And I said, "Oh, 100% we'll give you a shout out." And I said,
For
"What's your name?"
$150. For
Yeah,
$150.
We should be doing that. And I said, "Well, what's your name? I'll give you a shout." He goes, "Oh, no. Just do the handle." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And
What's
like
the handle?
and he's this is where it got funny because like it's a eye, soccer ball emoji, fire emoji, and I'm like, well, that's an interesting shout out. So hi, I soccer ball emoji, fire emoji. He then said, "No. My actual handle is IBP1805." So we'll give that a shout out. I'm still confused. I'd much rather say Jimmy, or Bobby or Alex.
Stephen or
Yeah. So big shout out
like
to
it. You know what?
IBP1805.
Hats off. Hats off by sticking to the handle.
Yeah.
I like that actually. That's nice.
We also
And it's
had
different.
Oh, it's definitely
It's
different.
very different. I'm a big fan of that. Well played. Thank you.
And
Love
finally, Super Mario 1987.
Oh,
He is an absolute
again.
legend.
Yes.
He sent us 3 cracking stories. Now we don't have time to get to them this week, but I wanted to give him a shout out because I said we would. This is coming up in future episodes. He has got a touch. Like there's some cracking stories around him helping out someone with drink driving who was a massive star. A fight in a club which turned into an arm wrestle with a big name celebrity. And it's incredible. So we'll do that probably next week in the comment club. So Super Mario 1987, you're a legend. We love you. He's one of the biggest supporters of this podcast. We are going to get to your message next week. And the names are good. You're going to love it, Scotty. You're going to love it. So I'll make sure we put it on the list to definitely do next week. We will 100% do it. But we're going to wrap up tonight because we're getting at the end. So we've got to go where we always end the game on, and that is the unfortunateness of Scotty's tip. And I say that because
Very
we are
much so.
currently down 6,750. How did your 4-leg multi go from last week, Scotty? We have to say gamble responsibly because essentially if you are going to take Scotty's tip on any of these, you are losing your cash.
Yes. So fucking Spurs let me down.
We lost
They've
again.
absolutely killed it, and they come out last night and played like busted arseholes and got beat.
Lost again.
Yeah, we lost
so
again.
We definitely are down. Well, now with another $1,000, we are now down 7,750.
Yep. But how much? How much are we down?
Almost $8,000.
Okay, good. Because we're getting so much closer to my bets getting us in the green if it comes up. Okay, so it actually starts tonight in an hour and a half.
Done. When someone's listening to this podcast, we could be done.
So we're getting on Forest to beat West Ham.
Okay.
We're getting on the Roosters next weekend.
Yeah.
Now we're going to France for their top tier of football. And we're getting on them, Monaco, to beat Strasbourg. And then we're going all the way over to Italy for corrupt match fixing. And we're going to get on Juventus to win their fixture. We're putting our $1,000 on it, which again is coming out of the Christmas fund. And this bad
That's
boy,
pleaded heavily.
you ready?
Yep.
This bad boy returning $6,720.
Oh, that is very interesting.
Wait, did I take Forest tonight or was it next week? Shit.
That would be, imagine that we're 3 legs up and we're
Yes,
waiting for
tonight.
Forest. It is tonight.
No, it's tonight. It is tonight. They play in an hour and a half live as we speak. And then I think it's more a case of, I think by next weekend, we if we're 3 up, we just need to wait for the Roosters. If we get to 3 out of 3, we just have to wait for the Roosters then.
Yeah.
So I'll check these results over the next couple of days. I'll keep you posted. And hopefully we pulled $6,720 back.
I reckon you need to start updating the listeners through the week. So as a leg wins or loses, you need to jump on our Instagram page and put a story up.
Okay.
So every time you chuck a story up saying my multi is here and just have the 3 legs and then have a green tick or a big cross next to them. And I want updates. Even if the first one was to lose, I want to know all of them. So if we've got 4 crosses, we need to have that conversation next week. I was actually thinking through the week, like how unfortunate you didn't say the Bulldogs to win, because at the start of last week, the Panthers were all named.
Oh,
wouldn't that have been a great match? You could have just put all the money on the Bulldogs to beat the Panthers.
Weren't the Dogs like $3 or $3.50?
Yeah, they were huge. And then it swung like in a matter of hours that the intel started getting out and everyone got the shits that people were betting hard on the Bulldogs, knowing that the Panthers it might have been Brendan Smith. He must have given the tip that they were letting them out. He's probably giving them the tip. Anyway, that draws the end of the Talking Sport Report for another week. We have covered everything from NRL to basketball and boxing, the whole lot. Next week, so much happening on. Please, if you have a fantastic local story, we really would love to get another great local story on. So, don't feel ashamed. Tell us your story. If it's a mate or a friend, even better. Let us know exactly what it would be. And the best way to get in touch with us is to write your story out, talkingsportreport@gmail.com. You can follow us on all of our socials at Talking Sport. We're on TikTok, YouTube, and we're on Instagram as well there. Obviously, Instagram's where you can follow along with Scotty's tip of the week. And he'll be able to see all these green ticks as we get closer to that getting back in the green, mate. Getting back in the green. We always ask, if you get a chance, 5-star review on your favorite podcast app where you listen to this podcast. We really do appreciate you listening. Thank you so much. Our listeners every week, Scotty, are continuing to climb, which is great. It's good.
Amazing.
So many people are listening to the podcast each and every week. So big thank you to everybody for tuning in and putting up with our drivel each and every week. And I think in the coming weeks, we're going to do something special, Scotty. I haven't told you this yet, but we are going to have our first ever guest on, and I want it to be someone from in the community. I want to bring one of our hard-earns on for a midweek special podcast where we actually chat to them about what's happening. So you just check with your schedule.
This is, I'm frothing.
You might have to wash up one of those nights. And you can jump on the pod a bit earlier and
That's
chat.
Brilliant. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, count me in.
Or we just bring Scotty's mum on. I mean, either one could be fantastic.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Rather Ezra's mum. Get Ezra's mum.
Ezra's mum could come on too. Have a great week.
Been a pleasure.